All right, so we are on page Tov Kuf Mem Zion. That's what I got. Let me move my book around here a little bit. Okay, so it says V'al Hai Tenenan. So I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but we'll pick it up. V'shum Zecha B'davish Amarna, what we say like this, Shehin HaNukva El Yoinet, Oile V'nisakenis, below Hadachar. So without a dachar, he uses the word ola. She can't rise up. She can't become her full height. That's what I think that's what he means. So therefore, a man lives in this world. He needs to get married. Kedugmas ola ma'elyon, just like that. Now his principle is that because the nook can't develop. The development of the nook is important. So that we learn Lidman the Afe Garme Bahai Alma Mechlala the Adam. Now he calls this to be in maybe in other places that the Adam is really Zochav Nook. And if you live a life without a nook, Lisa Isha, a person has to marry. He moves himself from that name. Because he's only called a man when he's actually incorporated with a woman, his chavros ish ve'isha. So they said, and the person is gone from this world, he's potter here. After he's gone, so therefore he never becomes a part of the Gufa Kedisha, which is Zachav V'Nok. So that's specifically after death, a person wants to be able to rise into a Zachav V'Nok of Atzilus. Shehem Klalos Adam Elyon, which is called the upper man, and Nikra Guf Kadosh, which is also called the holy body. Ela Be'inan Delo Ikrun Adam, but these people are not called a man. V'nafim Beklala the Gufa, and they're excluded from the klal called the body, and he means to say the body of Zachav V'Nok. So now he has something really strong that he says here. Ela Nishmaso Nechlalos Im Hashedim. But rather a person that doesn't have a nook will wound up being incorporated in the concept of the evil spirits, Adam, which are not called man. They're, in other words, if you're not in, you're out. Because these chitzonim are all part of the. He said, "Einam," they do not become a part of this the Gufa Kodesh. The Zer Anpin, the Nukva, also in his Nukva, Hanikroim Adam, because the two of them together is what's called an Adam. So it's a very strong statement about a person who doesn't marry. So I don't know what the rest of it would be. So Tanya, so now we learn like this. Because of, so we said this is a pasuk in Shir Hashirim, Tori Zohav, rose of gold, Na'asa l'chaloch im nekudas hakesef. With, I guess, mixing, you make it this for yourself, together with this concept called Nekudas HaKesef. This, I guess, are parts of silver. Pirusha Lefi HaSod, so according to the Sod now, what's Tori Zohav? Now, originally I thought Tor is like, in Aramaic, it's like, means a mountain. But it looks like it's not what it means. He says, the Tori Zohav, Heim Sod HaGavurah V'Chadinim and Nikroim Zohav. And it goes really after the last word, which is the word Zohav, because Zohav represents the left line, which is the line of Gevuros. So he said in the Kudas HaKesef, so these points of silver, Heim Soda Chasadim V'Harachamim and Nikroim Kesef. So Kesef is, we know, is a Gematria 160, which is like 161. So Al Zechav Amran, so this we say like this, Shachasav Hazahav, Nasa L'Kal, Im HaKesef, it will make for you together with the Kesef. So he means to say that they go together, the two of them go together, silver and gold. There's basbel dina barachmin. So what happens is that the din gets sweetened with the rachmin. Shenis basbel b'mim tikuch b'dinim shachol the nukva and the kroim zov, and the dinim of the nukva are called gold. Ayedech barach so zov. Ayedech barachmin shall zer anpin They're called kesef. So it becomes sweetened as a result of the rachamim, which comes from zer anpin. So here you have zocher v'nog. Ki be'ez zivug zer anpin v'nukva, when they're actually living together, this basbim gevuros hanukva bechasadim shezer anpin. That's what happens. Vayedechis kaladuzach v'his chavrus hagavuros im chasadim. So the fact that you're joining them all together. So you have, whenever you have a din, it has an accompanied rachmanis with it. So there's no dinim that don't have rachamim associated with it, because they're all entangled or incorporated one with the other. And so therefore on this it's written, according to this secret, shall hamtakas hagevuros of sweetening the gevuros v'hadinim v'chasadim v'rachmim yisparshu gam hapasuk. So now we can use this concept of sweetening the dinim with rachamim. He says, incidentally, I put on a white and a black shoe today by accident. So white, I guess, is mixing up the chesed and gevura here. All right, anyway, b'chasadim v'rachmim yisparish gam hapasuk hakodim shal, also the pasuk that comes before that. So let's look at them. He says sha'amar na'avo. So what does this mean? He says beautiful, l'chayech, for your cheeks, betorim, and then you have these rows of, I guess, of gold, of jewels. Tzavarech b'charuzim, whatever chazruzim is, or he says are necklaces. So your neck has necklaces hanging from it. So your cheeks have jewels, and your neck has necklaces. So let's take this word betorim. Pirusha betori zahav. Here we're talking about rows of gold. So make these rows of gold for yourself. Also make these rows of gold for yourself. So this actually, these rows, it means, he said, put these dinim on. I said, in some way, take this gold and it's on your cheeks. That's what he said originally. So what about this around the neck? Pirusho b'nekudis kasef. We're talking about these points of kasef, these bits of kasef of silver. Because it says with, I guess the kasef, with the kasef, which is chesed. We see that in the next pasuk. Because im nekudis kasef, because the next pasuk includes, going along with this, with these nekudis kasef. Which is the secret of chasadim, more, as we have been saying. So let's go over here and let's continue. And it says further, going along in this line, everything that we're talking about here should be yisod the nukva bondchui v'mushuchlo b'chinas beis hamikdash shel mata. So here we have, he says that around the Shemamar should be Yisod the Nukva. We're looking now at the Yisod of the Nukva, which says a broad place. So this is where the Mikdash is placed, Shalmata, the lower base of Mikdash. So what was the words again? The Yisod of the Nukva. So I'm not sure what he means by the lower base of Mikdash, but he means normally would mean the one in this world. So he wants to say the lower Yisod is the Yisod of Malchus, and the upper Yisod is the Yisod of Ima. So now looking at Malchus, and she has full of Gevuras, Mizbasmin, but they're sweetened, V'nimtachim, Mizmatkim, B'Yisod, the Nukva, B'Chasadim, the Dechura. So so wants to say that in her Yisod are all of these Gevuros. And now the Yisod of the Zohar comes along and sweetens them up. Yisod of Zivug, Zer Anpin, V'nuk, and that's what happens in that Yichud. You sweeten all those things that need to be sweetened in the Nukva, V'Yisa'ave and Klala da Adam. Now when this happens, and you sweeten those dinim, then everything comes into the klal of this this word that he's been using, this Adam or Adam Elyon. Now let's see what the Pirush says. So they together now are formed into this concept of Adam. Ki be'ez hazivug heim nikrayim b'shem Adam, because when is it that they're called Adam? When they're living together. And b'shum she'oz mizchavrim ha'gevuros she'heim b'sod shem ben. So now, take these gevuros. The gevuros are broken pieces which are called by the name shem ben. Then you're combining them with the chesadim she'heim b'sod shem ma, like ma'da chachadash kaminian Adam, because man, Adam, is a gematria of 45. So he says, "Avadal hu klalo de mechamanusa." Now I see this. You see this a lot in the Zohar all the time. This phrase. This is a general concept of faith. That is, when you put the two together. V'chaziv gazer shazer anpen v'nukva, v'hachiver shel chasadim d'shem ma v'chagavur b'shem ben, and that's the particular part. It says that the mochin are coming together. Nikra klal amuna. So the whole thing is called the category called amuna. I'm trying to get a real clear understanding of this, and I don't have it really. Amuna means what you believe or you go forward with that you can't see. That's what I think it means. So he says that this yichud of the two of them together is called amuna. What is this amuna? Why does it come into the category of called this is amuna? That is, they're living together. She said, because inside of her, or inside of that relationship, let's see, in the middle of, within this chibur, that's what actually causes the neshamas of the Jews to come forth. Sheheim b'sod Amuna, which is all this comes from the secret of Amuna. So I'm still looking for exactly how or what it means, because I feel like Amuna means faith to go through into a dark place. But if called tikkun ubnei olam hatzilus, so they're also tikkun ubinyan, and the construction, the olam hatzilus. So the whole thing requires this link up of right and left, so to speak, to come together, be one. So all of the faith of the Jewish people, and I guess you would say throughout the generations. Hagiloi, the Olam HaTzilus, is because of the revelation that happens in Olam HaTzilus, which is panemius to everything. The Visha Ayidech Olam HaTzilus Masigim B'nei Yisrael as Or Ein Sof Baruch Hu, because it is through the Atzilus, that is what we're saying, this yichud of Zachar v'Nuk that's taking place in Atzilus. This is what allows a person to have some kind of an attachment to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. So he said, "V'tana b'lamado man de'ikre Adam." Let's go back to this concept again. The one, he who is called a man. Ki misha nikra b'shem Adam. The hindu shuchu b'bnei Yisrael. That means now he is changing the focus slightly. So then the Jewish people and our shamas are really a product of the yichud that's taking place in Etzilus. So he said, the hindu shuchu b'bnei Yisrael hakuruyim Adam. The Jewish people he's calling Adam. Commotion Emer Adam Atem. There's this pasuk in Yecheskel. V'amar Chazal, the rabbis say like this: Atem Kruyim Adam, that you are called man. Now, so this is a little divergence from what he said about Zachar v'Nuk. This is post Zachar v'Nuk, and so the recipient of all of that shefa is the Jews. V'lo umas ha'olam, not the goyim Kruyim Adam. They're not called man. I'm not sure exactly where we're going right now. I think he's talking about the Jewish man. Also, the Mason lay bebesid, the Me'eved lay lina al ara. You can't leave the body over in the house, so they should be able to spend the night on the earth. Now, we know that earth is really a word, another word like sadeh refers to the nook. Let me see what he says. So the translation is as aser lahalin ozer bebayis. You can't leave the dead person to spend the night in his own house. La soslo lina al haaretz, so that he should be able to lie on the land, so on the earth, so on the ground. I'm not sure what the significance of this is, but if this is a practice or something that people thought about or did, so let's see. So he said, "V'tam adav." So why can't you do that? Mishum Yikara the Hagufa, because of the glory, that the honor that is due to this body. The lo yischaze bei kolona, that nothing corrupt or something disgusting should happen with them. B'shum cover the goof is there because of that covered for the body. Shelo yihi anira bo kolon lo bizoyan, so you shouldn't be able to do something that would put it down. I'm looking for the right word there in bizoyan, I just haven't got the English word. Ki b'sha shehi chai shehoya chai, because at the time that it was alive, hoya haguf bebechinas kli. It was like a vessel the neshama hagadusha, that the neshama hagadusha came into. V'hoya dugmas hakli b'haguf hakodesh al zer anpen. It was similar to the kli and the goof of zer anpen, which has the neshama coming into him, nikra Adam, which it calls Adam. So therefore, it used to be a man who had a ruchnius inside of him. So therefore, this would be a what's the right word here? An embarrassment, a shame on this body after it's dead. Because when you leave the dead person to die, as goof amaze, what you're doing is you're defaming the body of the mace. And you make the body as if it was just an animal. So all of this secret is actually contained in this pasuk. And it's written like this: Adam Bikar Bal Yalin. So Bikar, so he says in Upirusha, Adam, Tuhu Yakar Mikal Yakara. He is the most precious and the most honest of all, honored of all honorings. Misha Nikra B'Shem Adam, the Fishan Asaka Dugmas Adam, because he becomes like the image of a man Elyon, just like that. In other words, we have a ruach inside of us, Shuhu Yaakov, and who is honored, Makuvad, Mikol Yaakov, from anything else that would ever be honored. V'lechem Gam Gufa Shuhu Kli V'Guf the Bechinas Adam. So therefore, the body, which was a goof for this Bechina, which is called Adam, who Gam came Yaakov Makuvod, so therefore the body is also considered to be very glorious or honored. Bal Yalin, don't let it spend over, spend the night. So therefore don't leave it over after he dies. And then we continue on as this pasuk is continuing. So he said b'sham nidmu. So they can compare to what? Seems like your phone must have a governor on it or something.
What?
Where do we lose you? It cuts out at certain points. I don't know why. Or where did I lose you?
It was just a minute ago.
Well, I'm down at the bottom of the page on the left column.
Yeah, good.
And he went there to that pasuk. My time, I'm at the very bottom of that column, and it says my time, which will be the if you do this, and you let the body lie over as gufo, let the body just stay like that. This is comparing it to the way we handle animals. You're treating it like it's an animal. What is it similar to them? The behemoths. It's similar to the way we handle animals. Is it just like animals or cattle? Is not considered to be like a man. Where is the root of the soul of animals? Who mina klipos? It comes from the klipos. They're not part of the concept that we've been working on, which is the concept of Adam Elyon, Zohar V'Nok. And we don't see a Holy Spirit in them. We don't see that. Also here. So they're like cattle, they're like animals we were just a body. They don't have any kedusha to them at all. So therefore, when we have a man who's dead, he's like a behema because there's no kedusha in him anymore. Because now he's a body, he has no ruach of a neshama inside of him, kedusha. So it's like an animal, doesn't have it. It's another body, which is the most honored of all. V'im kain zeh haguf shel adam emes shehu yakor mekol lefi shehoya be'ez. And why is it more honored than anything else? Because there was a time be'ez ki yuso kli l'neshama kedusha, because it was at one time a vessel for that neshama kedusha. Lo yischaze be kolona, so no disgrace should come to it. Sardik shagam la'achar misa lo yali no zacha kadesha lo yihya nirabo hakalan, so this disgrace should not be seen by v'chabigzayim and this shame. Shuhu atach b'guf bilvad, and now it is just a body. It has no kedusha anymore, and it's shameful. Below neshama kedusha kamo behema, just like a behema. Okay, now can we do just one more, or what do you think?
Okay.
I said, but the Adam, it's Niusa the Sifra. Now we're going into depth. And he says, the Soda Shal Sefer has Niusa. He says what? Call man the Aved Liner the high Gufa Kadisha below Rucha. So this body has no longer no Kedusha in it anymore. Shekol Misha Oisach Lina the Gufa Kado Shal Ha'adam. So now you let it stay over. Kashahu below Ruach HaKodesh, and it doesn't have that in it. Aved Pigemusach Begufa the Almond. What does this mean? It makes a tremendous begam. Hine bezeh habezayan ha'she'osa the guf ha'meis, who osa begam beguf ha'kodesh. This guf ha'kodesh we've been talking about, which is this Adam Elyon, shall call the Holomos. So that's the guf ha'kodesh of all of the whatever kli exists in the spiritual world. It flaws that kli. Shuhu sod hamalchus shehi haguf halvashas as their anpen, which also refers to malchus, because malchus is the ultimate kli. Tacha begin dol lo aved lina ba'asra kadisha ba'arad etzadik yalinba. So he says, so therefore, shaharech mishum tam zeh, because of this reason, aser la'asos lina b'makom kadosh, so that in a place which is holy, it's impossible. It's forbidden, I guess, to leave the body lie over. The hind of Eretz Yisrael is talking particularly about Eretz Yisrael, which is Lashon Malchus. But Malchus nikra tzaddik. Well, over there we got the concept that Malchus is called by this word tzaddik. Shochein ba, kumo shena amar, so that you're dwelling in this place of tzaddik. Shena amar tzaddik yalin ba, yalin ba Hashem. Tzaddik shall spend the night or sleep over with Hashem. Mishum the high gufi yakara iskre the yukta de malka, because the body itself is called the image of the queen. The fisha shaguf hayaka shala adam nikrut suras hamelach. It's called the formation of the king. He says ki naasach bedugmas had surah al yonde, because he makes it similar to the upper form. What is that? Zocher v'nuk, or the other is kedusha within a kli. V'hu besod hamalchus shihaguf shall call olomo. So here we see that the body is really a symbol of malchus. V'hi aved be lina. So if you leave it alone and just let it lie there, have kachad min be'ir. It's like just one of the cattle. Hadoch said this is the meaning of what it says. Nimsha became as didbu. So they're compared now to the dead body as like an animal. That means if you treat it by just leaving it lie there. He said, and disgraces it. So in his yakiros, in his honor, don't let him lie over. And it's compared to like animals. Ipirusha, now this is the final word on this. Sha'al yedei linas guf amez, leading the body over without, I guess it means without adim and so on and so forth. So it's like an animal that never had a ruach kodesh. It's empty. So therefore you're really disgracing that body, as we explained, which originally had kedusha within it. So therefore there's a begam that takes place in this midah called malchus. And that's it. That's the shir for today. And tomorrow we're going to go into the Dora Mabul, which I looked at, but I didn't understand any of it. So we'll try to pick it up tomorrow.